Have you ever walked into a room and completely forgotten why you're there? Or struggled to remember a name that was just on the tip of your tongue? If you've ever chalked it up to aging, think again, because stress might be the real culprit. We often think of memory loss as something that happens naturally with age, but the truth is, stress plays a much bigger role than most people realize. And here's the shocking part: chronic stress doesn't just make you feel overwhelmed, it can actually shrink your brain. That's right. Studies show that long-term stress can damage the very part of your brain responsible for memory. But here's the good news. Just because stress affects memory doesn't mean you're stuck with it forever. There are ways to reverse the damage, strengthen your brain, and take back control of your memory. And in this video, we're going to break it all down. So, let's start with a simple question. How does stress actually cause memory loss? Cause of memory loss: when you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. In small doses, cortisol is helpful. It gives you a burst of energy, sharpens your focus, and helps you respond quickly to challenges. But when stress becomes chronic, meaning it lingers for weeks, months, or even years, that constant flood of cortisol can start to damage your brain. The hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for forming and retrieving memories, is especially sensitive to cortisol. When stress levels stay high for too long, the hippocampus starts to shrink. That's why you might notice that when you're under pressure, whether it's from work, family, or financial worries, you suddenly become forgetful. You misplace things, struggle to concentrate, or even forget important appointments. And it's not just about small memory lapses. Over time, chronic stress can increase the risk of more serious memory issues, even conditions like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. That's why managing stress isn't just about feeling better, it's about protecting your brain for the long run. But what actually causes this kind of stress in the first place? What causes memory loss from stress? Stress comes in many forms, and different types affect the brain in different ways. Emotional stress, like dealing with grief, anxiety, or constant worry, keeps your nervous system on high alert, making it harder for your brain to form new memories. Physical stress, like chronic pain, poor sleep, or even over-exercising, can also take a toll. And let's not forget environmental stress, like living in a high-pressure job, a toxic relationship, or financial instability. But here's the tricky part. You don't always feel the effects of stress right away. Sometimes, the damage happens slowly, making it easy to overlook until you start noticing more frequent forgetfulness or brain fog. That's why it's so important to recognize the signs early and take action before stress takes a lasting toll on your memory. Now, here's something many people wonder. If memory loss from stress is so common, can it actually be reversed? Can memory loss from stress be reversed? The short answer is yes. While stress can damage the brain, it doesn't have to be permanent. The brain is incredibly adaptable, and just like it can weaken under stress, it can also rebuild itself when given the right support. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire and heal itself. Reducing stress is the first step. When cortisol levels drop, the hippocampus gets a chance to recover, and memory function can start improving. But it's not just about reducing stress, it's also about actively supporting brain health through lifestyle choices, mental exercises, and even diet. And that's exactly what we're going to get into next. There are practical, science-backed ways to strengthen your memory, lower stress, and even reverse the effects of chronic stress on your brain. Now that we know how stress affects memory and why it happens, let's talk about what you can do to reverse the damage and protect your brain. The good news is that memory loss from stress isn't permanent. Your brain is constantly changing and adapting, and with the right habits, you can help it recover. One of the most powerful ways to fight stress-related memory loss is by managing cortisol levels. Remember, cortisol is the stress hormone that causes damage to the brain when it stays elevated for too long. If you can lower your cortisol, you give your brain the chance to heal. So how do you do that? The first step is to address the root cause of stress. Lifestyle changes to reverse memory loss from stress. Many people assume that stress is just a mental problem, but it actually starts in the body. If you're constantly feeling overwhelmed, It might be because your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode. This means your brain is constantly on high alert, making it harder to store and retrieve memories. One of the simplest ways to break this cycle is deep breathing. It might sound too easy to be effective, but studies show that slow, deep breathing signals to your brain that you're safe, which helps lower cortisol levels. Try this. Take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale slowly for 6 seconds. Do this for a few minutes whenever you feel stressed, and over time, you'll notice your mind feels clearer. Another powerful tool? Exercise. But not just any exercise, gentle movement like walking, stretching, or yoga is the best for lowering cortisol. Intense workouts can actually raise stress hormones, so if you're feeling mentally foggy, opt for a calming activity instead. And then there's sleep. You might not realize it, but poor sleep and stress feed off each other in a vicious cycle. When you don't get enough sleep, your body produces more cortisol, which then makes it harder to sleep, and the cycle continues. If you want to improve memory, prioritizing good sleep is non-negotiable. One simple trick to fall asleep faster? Turn off screens at least an hour before bed. Blue light from phones and TVs tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, making it harder to produce melatonin, the hormone that helps you sleep. Instead, try reading a book, listening to calm music, or even dimming the lights in your home. Can memory loss from sleep deprivation be reversed? Speaking of sleep, many people wonder, if I've been running on little sleep for years, have I permanently damaged my memory? The answer is no. Memory loss from sleep deprivation can be reversed, but you have to give your brain time to recover. When you sleep, your brain goes through a process of cleaning out toxins that build up during the day. One of these toxins is beta amyloid, a protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. When you don't get enough sleep, this protein builds up, increasing your risk of memory problems. But here's the good news. Getting consistent, quality sleep can help clear it out over time. If you've been sleep deprived for years, don't expect instant results. It might take weeks or even months of regular sleep to feel the full benefits, but stick with it. Over time, you'll notice that your memory improves, your thinking becomes sharper, and you feel more mentally alert throughout the day. The role of nutrition in memory loss. What you eat also plays a huge role in reversing stress-related memory loss. Certain foods fuel your brain, while others make stress and memory issues worse. Let's start with the worst offenders: processed foods, sugar, and alcohol. These increase inflammation in the brain, making it harder to form and retrieve memories. If you're constantly feeling forgetful, take a look at your diet. Cutting back on sugar and processed foods can make a dramatic difference. On the flip side, brain-boosting foods can help reverse memory loss. The best ones include fatty fish like salmon, which is rich in omega-3 fatty acids that help rebuild brain cells. Blueberries, which contain antioxidants that protect the brain from stress damage. Nuts and seeds, which provide essential vitamins and healthy fats for brain function. And here's an easy swap. Instead of reaching for a sugary snack when you're stressed, try dark chocolate. It has antioxidants that help reduce cortisol levels, and unlike regular chocolate, it won't cause a sugar crash that makes brain fog worse. Mental exercises to rebuild memory. Physical health is important, but what about mental exercise? Just like your body needs movement to stay strong, your brain needs challenges to stay sharp. One of the best ways to strengthen memory is learning something new. This doesn't mean you have to take up a complicated hobby. Something as simple as doing puzzles, learning a few words in a new language, or even switching up your daily routine can help. The key is to keep your brain engaged. Another simple but effective trick? Writing things down by hand. Studies show that physically writing things down helps encode memories more deeply than typing. If you're struggling with forgetfulness, try keeping a handwritten journal or writing out your to-do lists instead of using your phone. And don't forget about social connections. Spending time with friends and family is one of the best ways to keep your brain healthy. Socializing reduces stress, lowers cortisol, and strengthens neural pathways in the brain. So if you're feeling isolated, make an effort to reach out to someone. It's not just good for your mood, it's essential for your memory. Now that we've covered how stress affects memory and the key lifestyle changes that can help reverse the damage, let's talk about long-term brain health. Because here's the truth. Memory loss isn't just something that happens overnight. It builds up over time. The choices you make today, what you eat, how you manage stress, and even how you think, will determine how sharp your memory stays in the years ahead. And the best part? It's never too late to improve. So let's talk about some final, powerful ways to protect your memory and keep your brain strong for life. How to prevent memory loss in old age. One of the biggest myths about memory loss is that it's just a part of aging. Yes, some cognitive changes are normal, but losing your memory completely? That's not inevitable. There are people in their 70s, 80s, and even 90s with sharp, vibrant minds. And the secret isn't just genetics, it's daily habits. One of the most underrated memory boosters? Staying curious. Your brain is like a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. Learning new things, staying engaged, and keeping your mind active all help build new brain cells. And the best part? It doesn't have to be complicated. Something as simple as reading, playing a new card game, or even taking a different route on your daily walk can stimulate your brain in powerful ways. And let's not forget about stress management. Chronic stress isn't just bad for your mood, it speeds up brain aging. Meditation, deep breathing, and mindfulness aren't just trendy, they're backed by science as powerful tools for keeping your mind sharp. Even 5 minutes of slow, deep breathing a day can lower cortisol and help protect memory over time. But what if memory loss starts showing up earlier than expected? What causes memory loss in young adults? Memory loss isn't just a concern for older adults. More and more young people are struggling with forgetfulness, brain fog, and trouble concentrating. And the biggest culprit? Chronic stress and burnout. We live in a world of constant notifications, endless to-do lists, and non-stop pressure to be productive. That constant mental overload wears down the brain, making it harder to focus, remember details, or even process information properly. One of the simplest ways to fix this? Single tasking. Multitasking might feel productive, but it actually exhausts the brain. Instead of juggling 5 things at once, try focusing on one task at a time. You'll not only get things done faster, but you'll also give your brain a break from the constant strain. Another thing to watch for? Nutrient deficiencies. Many young adults are missing key vitamins that keep the brain functioning at its best. Low levels of B vitamins, magnesium, and omega-3s can contribute to forgetfulness and brain fog. If you find yourself constantly struggling with memory lapses, it might be worth looking into your nutrition. Memory loss medications, do they help? With all the brain-boosting supplements and memory pills out there, you might be wondering, do they actually work? The truth is, some medications and supplements can help, but they're not a magic fix. For example, certain Alzheimer's medications can slow down cognitive decline in people with diagnosed memory disorders, but they don't cure memory loss. And when it comes to supplements like ginkgo biloba, bacopa monnieri, and lion's mane mushroom, some studies suggest they may improve brain function, but the results aren't always consistent. The most effective way to boost memory? A brain-healthy lifestyle. No pill can replace good sleep, stress management, and proper nutrition. If you're considering supplements, think of them as an extra boost, not the foundation of your brain health. If you've been struggling with memory lapses, brain fog, or forgetfulness, here's the most important thing to remember. You are not powerless. Stress, poor sleep, and unhealthy habits can take a toll on your brain, but the good news is that memory loss from these factors can be reversed. Your brain is designed to adapt, heal, and grow, no matter your age. So start today. Prioritize sleep. Reduce stress where you can. Fuel your body with the right nutrients. Keep your brain active. And most importantly, believe that improvement is possible. Your memory is one of the most valuable things you have. Protect it, and it will serve you well for years to come. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it so more people can see this important information. And if you haven't already, Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new video. I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever struggled with stress-related memory loss? What helped you? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Thanks for watching, and remember, your brain is stronger than you think.